Hey, what's up guys? D'Artagnan Demps here, and today we're going to be going over an issue that I see very frequently when it comes to new members coming into the gym or current members who are doing a strength and conditioning program or any kind of program that is going to increase your performance, which means you're going to have to get stronger or faster, which means you're going to be lifting heavy weight frequently. And a lot of times when we get new members coming into the program, they have a lot of existing injuries that they're not even aware of until they start to do our program, which causes for pure range of motion and flexibility and all of these kind of things to do the exercises that we do. And we always run into common issues and pains and aches. And the common one that we're going to talk about today is going to be the shoulder issues. And we're going to go over some common issues that you'll see that you may have been experiencing, and then we'll go over some simple fixes that you can do so you can continue to work out. So the most frequent issues that we see are going to be with inflammation, tendonitis, or some type of shoulder impingement that's inhibiting proper range of motion. And there are several different things that will lead someone to doing this, and it's usually things in your daily activity. So a lot of times I see people who drive in traffic. If you're in California, we sit in traffic all day and we have bad posture in the car, or we're leading with one hand and all that kind of stuff, or just things that you do in your daily work activity. So poor shoulder alignment is going to give you kind of pain and issues. You're going to have issues with tightness. Tightness is the number one thing that I see with people who are starting a strength program or a conditioning program, any kind of Olympic lifting or that sort, because it causes the muscles to kind of get tight. And if you're doing it frequently and you don't have a good mobility program and you're not stretching, then that tightness is going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you're not doing those mobility things frequently, you're going to lead to injury. And most people just want to come right into the gym and start working out, and they don't start with a good mobility warm-up, and then they don't finish with a mobility exercise or cool down. And that's the number one thing that I see in my gym that causes injury or problems. The other thing is just general weakness, all right? Not being able to have all of the muscles work properly and strong. This weakness usually comes from an overuse of what I call the push muscles. So all the time you go to the gym, what do you see? The number one area that's being used? The bench press, right? So we see all of these, what we call, what can be seen in the mirror muscles. So it's like you see the bench press, the push-up, they're doing crunches, lateral raises, so they're doing all of these front muscles and not a lot of pulling. So you get kind of like this imbalance. So you have weak muscles that can't balance with the strong bench press. You can't do pull-ups properly. So we try to create balance here, and we're going to talk about some of the things that you guys can do to kind of help with some of the weaknesses here, and mainly bad technique. Having a bad trainer, going to a bad program, or not having a program or trainer at all, and just kind of going to the gym and winging it, or doing things that you see other people doing and they don't know what they're doing, and it begets each other, and you usually end up hurting yourself. So things in your daily life, slouching, this is common. I'm constantly walking around the gym. I'm constantly walking around and pushing people in the back, pulling their shoulders back because they just get so used to this slouchy position. Sitting all day behind the front desk, again, sitting in traffic, these kind of things lead to that rounded shoulder position. Texting, this is the new thing, right? Social media, Facebooking, and using the bathroom, right? Some people are now Facebooking and texting on the toilet, and you don't realize it until your legs go numb, and you're like, crap, I've been sitting on the crapper, no pun intended, for a little bit too long. So all of these kind of positions are leading you into this rounded hump slouched position, which are shortening these muscles, tightening up these muscles, over lengthening these muscles, and are going to lead you to some imbalances. So the fixes, you have to remember, a good shoulder is able to be mobile, right? So this is going through the full range of motion, and it's also stable. So basically, when you do certain moves, it's able to stay in the right position without kind of like rising. So the common mistake that I see a lot of people doing with the bench is when they do the bench, they kind of like do this, their shoulders pop up or their elbows are really high because they're not able to keep their lats engaged and their shoulders down and do the bench. From this position, it's kind of like this, right? And they do this. So that's having bad stability or imbalances and weak muscles into your other extremities and muscles. So what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna take you out to the floor. We're gonna do some tests that you can do on yourself to see which of these issues or all of these issues that you have and what are some fixes that you can do so you can stay active and continue to be the strongest, best version of yourself. So stay tuned. I'll see you in just 1 second. All right, guys, welcome back. So today we're talking about shoulder fixes, common problems. And what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna talk about some stability and mobility exercises that you can do to help with the alignment or range of motion of the actual shoulder muscle. So with the shoulder, we're looking at the subscapularis, the infraspinatus, the supraspinatus, and the teres minor. This is wonderful Peyton Ray, and she's going to be helping us out today, showing you guys some of these exercises. Now, Peyton, you actually had some shoulder issues before.
Yeah, I had got a shoulder injury like a year ago.
A year ago, and she still trains. She does pretty good. But you guys are going to see some tightness in her that you guys may see in yourself, and then you'll see some fixes that we do for Peyton in doing this. So one of the first things that we want to do is we're going to have Peyton grab the band, and this is going to be a stretch to activate the lat and just kind of get the shoulder warmed up. So all she's going to do is put her hand in the band, and she's going to step back, and she's going to get this stretch right in this area here. So this is connecting the shoulder and the lat, which is going to kind of loosen that up. So again, it's going to be increasing the range of motion of this tight shoulder. All right. So we want to hold this for about 30 to 45 seconds. All right. Another stretch that we want to do is we want to go cross body. This one I really like. And what she's going to do is she's going to grab the band the same way. She's going to take this hand, put it over the top, and what I like to have you do is actually reach for this other side of the body and kind of lock that hand down, and then she's going to rotate this side. Now, this can be painful if you have a tight shoulder. You'll see all of these muscles in this shoulder area flaring up, that anterior, posterior deltoid, everything is kind of engaged here. And she's just gonna hold there and just allow that to open up, just relaxing and making sure that she's rotating her body this way just as much as she can. We don't wanna go to a point of pain because your body will go into shock and it'll actually try to protect you by tightening up, which is the exact opposite of what we wanted to do. So we wanna stay nice and loose and just allow the stretch to happen on its own. All right, going ahead and standing there. Now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give her this band right here. And what she's gonna do is she's gonna take it behind her back and she's gonna kind of open up here. So she'll grab one piece here and she'll grab the other one here and she'll lift up right there. So we're getting the stretch in this arm, and this arm is controlling the amount of tension that she needs to apply there. Okay? Now, once that's been done, we have so many muscles that kind of connect to the shoulder. So we've got the traps, we've got the lats, and most importantly, we were talking earlier on a lot of this movement, a lot of those push exercises. So what tends to happen is if she turns around, the chest muscles, they kind of shorten and shrink because you're doing this all day, right? You're just like this bad bench presser. So we want to make sure that we open that up. So what she's going to do, she's going to go ahead and grab onto the pole here. Now, this stretch is probably one of the ones that are done inaccurately. And the way that you do it wrong is, you see the way her bicep is facing forward and down, right? That's turning, there's no stretch here, right? We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we turn the bicep up, the hand is here, and now this stretch, everything kind of gets activated through there. All right, so you have the major minor pectoral muscle. So we want to get the major muscle there. We're going to go and we're going to grab a little bit higher, again, making sure that we keep the bicep kind of up and seen, and then rotating across the body there. All right, since we have you, how do you know which of these, if you do have a shoulder issue? So we're gonna go over we're gonna go over 3 tests that you can give on yourself before. You can do this no matter what because these are great stretches, but how do you know? So we're gonna go ahead and have Peyton turn around. And so what we're gonna do, she's gonna put her hand behind her back. So what we're looking for is we're looking for a flat sideways lat muscle, right? So what we're gonna have her do is we're gonna have her turn her hand in and out. So what you notice is that we don't wanna see a lot of movement here, all right? Go ahead and get some exaggeration here. So if this collarbone right here, or this shoulder bone pops out, that way you know you're really tight, because what's happening is it's laying flat now because it's really tight, and it's not laying flat parallel this way, all right? So we know that we have some issues there. Let's go to your back shoulder. Let's see how that looks, right? Just right there, you can see this sucker's popping out already because we already know she has some tight issues here. Go ahead and flip that. Boom, you see how it goes right there? So you can see this shoulder is having some issues. It's got some tight stuff going on. So this is something that she has to make sure she addresses and she loosens up before she goes to start doing pressing and overhead types of movements. All right, let's go to the front. And now we're gonna do a very simple one. We're gonna do one, if she's nice and relaxed, and we're gonna look at is her thumbs. I'm gonna tell her to point your thumbs, right? So her thumbs are pointing forward. That's a good sign. A bad sign is what we call like the caveman knuckle drag, right? They're kind of like rounded shoulders like this, you know, this the beefcake dude, right? Something like beefy, right? And they walk like this, and their hands are kind of like dragging across the floor. So in that position, if you gave them what I call like the flashlight test, if you had a dark room and you had flashlights, would the light cross, or would they just run straight? Right now, if your fingers are pointing towards each other, you know you do too much benching and not enough pulling, right? So you need to start getting on that row machine and open this stuff up, because it's not sexy. It's not, all right? All right, so we've done that, and then the last thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of turn you this way, and this is your good shoulder, right? So this is that. We're gonna turn her this way, right? And we're gonna have her do just the reach test. So she's gonna make sure that her shoulder is down. She digs down, and then she's gonna go straight up. And what we would like to see is her arm get right close to her ears and staying up and down there. That's what we wanna see. Now, things that we don't wanna see, and again, you notice that her back stayed nice and flat. We don't want to see this hyperextended, right? So as she's lifting, in order to make that move, her shoulder tends to move up, right? It can't stay engaged. It's not stable, right? The other thing is, in order to make that move, she gets this hyperextension in her lower back, and it's this high arch here. We don't want to see things like that. So relax. This is something that I know if you start to go to the gym and start watching people, when they do that press, what are they doing? Right, they're here, their back is arched right here. They're pressing in front of themselves, right? And they're not pressing, boom, right here with this chest down, the arm in line, and staying nice and tight, which is the goal. You should be able to press from there, abs nice and tight. So if they're having their structural integrity is loose, you need to make sure you are strengthening these muscles. So we went over some of the stretches. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna review some of the strengthening exercises to do. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys in just 1 second. All right, what's up guys? Daniel Dem's back here with Peyton Ray, and we're going over the shoulder strengthening exercises to help kind of fix your shoulder pain or issues. So we just went over some of the stretches. We did 3 tests for you guys. So now we're gonna go over what I like to call, or you guys might already know, the YTWLs. Couple reasons why I like these exercises. Though I think when I was training Peyton, remember when we were doing that rehab, was that not boring?
Yeah, it was really boring.
It was really boring, and it's like, you know, she actually had to pay me to make her sit down and actually do the stuff, because it's not fun. When you come to the gym, you want to jump right in and work out. And so doing these kind of like boring, you know, shoulder exercises that's like you can watch paint dry, it's not going to excite you to get going. So the YTWL is something that you can actually do during the beginning parts of your workout. You can do it in between a couple of your sets. sets, and it won't take any more time outside of your schedule. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the Y. Now, a couple different ways that you can do this. You can do it with dumbbells, or you can do it with bands. So we're going to show you both. With the bands, all she's going to do, she's going to grab those bands, and she's basically just going to make the letter Y. All right, so again, we're activating all the muscles right here in her upper back and her shoulders, and we're gonna do anywhere from 5 to 15, just kind of depending on your strength and when you start to feel the burn. Most important thing is we don't want this shoulder to rise while we're doing that, all right? And we want to get this hand as far back as possible. The other thing that we don't want to see is this hyperextension in the back. So give us a hyperextension, show us what that looks like. Boom, where she's kind of like rocking the band back. We don't want to see that. We really want to isolate these muscles, okay? So this band for Peyton is a little bit tight for most people, especially if this is a weak area for you, like it's very weak for most people. So I would just go ahead and tell her to grab some dumbbells, and she's gonna kind of go into this bent over position, and she's just gonna make the letter Y right out to the side. Now what we wanna do is when she's doing this, we want her thumbs up towards the ceiling, and this allows for the proper rotation of the shoulder to be there, okay? So this is what we wanna see. Again, shoulders down, and then going right up towards the ceiling, making that letter Y. Can you see her face? She looks like this is hurting, right? Again. All right, so now we're gonna go to a T. The T is pretty simple. All she's gonna do, or you guys might know this, is what we call pull-aparts. All she's gonna do is palms facing down. She's just gonna open up all the way there and try to get her, what I like to do is, I like to try to the best of their ability, get your fist past your body, right? Really get that stretch there, all right? Again, shoulders are down, and then pull apart right there, get a nice little squeeze, and then come back in. All right, so this is all strengthening things. So you'll notice, like, I'm actually coming over here and pushing down a little bit on Peyton because I can tell her bad shoulder, it wants to rise because it doesn't have the stability that it needs to. It's a little tight, and so you want to make sure that that's the first thing that you're aware of, is keeping everything tight, everything down, everything engaged, and just going as far as you need to. And if you need to go to a lighter band, then do that. All right, so now we're going to go to the W's, and the W's tend to be the hardest one for most people, all right? So this is gonna engage that infraspinatus and teres minor, all that kind of stuff is gonna get engaged here. So she's gonna do basically pull into this W, right? So at the end, her arms are making the letter W. Again, shoulders are gonna be down, and she's just gonna pull. What she's gonna be leading with is her wrist and her elbow, again, trying to get as far back as you can, and then coming in and nice and relaxed. Again, as you feel your shoulders start to rise or get too much tension, because your body's only gonna be able to do so many reps, you may start off only being able to do 5 reps, and then you'll start to feel things start to get a little weak and out of place. Break, all right? Because you don't want to condition bad habits into that because you're already doing it during your workout. All right, the last thing is going to be the L's. So all she's going to do is row and then make the letter L, okay? So again, making sure the shoulders are down, going in, and then rotating right at the top, and then pulling in. So again, pull as far back as you can, and then make the letter L. So what I like to do is, what you'll see is most people's elbows will be here, or when they rotate, like they'll rotate and their elbows will come forward because they don't have enough strength to keep their elbows pulled back, is I'll go ahead and I'll pull, and then I'll keep my hands here, and I'll tell them, go ahead and pull, and then that gives a little bit of support there for them, all right? Now, if you're doing this and you just want to switch it up and have a little variety within your workout, this is another version of a pull-up, except we're not going to have our hands coming in this way. We're going to do exactly kind of similar to the same thing that we were doing. So I'm going to have Peyton go ahead and grab this, and we're going to walk in like we're going to do a pull-up, stay right there because it's not going to be far, and all I'm going to have her do is do a pull-up, keeping her elbows nice and high right there, okay? And then back down. For this one, I like to get a little static, so I like to have you hold it. 3, 2, yeah, she's not liking me right now. 1, all right, so as she does it, do it again. Look at what happens to her elbow. What does it want to do? It wants to go down, and I want it right there, right? And then the longer she stays there, the shoulder is gonna wanna rise up, right? So this is a really good one just to get the muscles activating and knowing that they're supposed to be working. Take this one a little bit further, I can make her go into an L, right? So I can have her do pull and then roll right there, boom! Now she just did the L. All right, again, another isolated slow movement just to change the variance of that and keep it fun, and you're still working, and this can be part of your workout. All right, thank you, my lady. All right, thank you guys. I hope this has been helpful. This is something that I hope and pray that you guys do. If you're doing these shoulder exercises, you have problems, you don't have to stop working out. You just have to do the work. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at info@DietanianDemps.com or click on one of the buttons below. We'll see you. Take care.
Bye, guys.